All right, let's talk about it. The Cambridge O Level Urdu exam. It's one of those papers that can feel, well, pretty intimidating, right? But today we're going to crack the code and turn all that confusion into some serious confidence.
So, be honest, does this paper stress you out? You know that feeling when you're staring at the translation question or the functional writing part and your mind just goes blank? Yeah? If that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. We're about to pull back the curtain and show you step by step what the examiners are really looking for.
Here's the thing, and this is super important. Acing this exam isn't just about knowing Urdu. Nope. The real secret is getting inside the examiner's head. It's all about understanding their mindset, what they're trained to reward when they're marking your paper. And that is exactly what we're going to do right now. Okay, let's get right into it. Our first big secret. We're calling this the examiner's golden rule. And trust me, once you get this, it's going to completely change how you see this exam. We're about to find out where the bulk of your marks actually come from. And I'm willing to bet it's not what you think. Okay, take a look at this. This is for the 15-mark translation question. Now, what's wild is that only 5 marks, just a third of the total, are for getting the information right. The other 2/3, a massive 10 marks, are all about your language and fluency. Seriously, let that sink in. This changes the entire game. So you might be asking, what on earth is language and fluency? Well, it's not just one thing, it's a whole package. The examiners are looking at everything. Are you using the right vocabulary? Is your grammar on point? And this is a big one. Does your sentence structure sound like natural Urdu, not like a clunky translation? And of course, are you using punctuation and those little connecting words that make your writing flow? You know, words like halanki for although or chunanche for therefore. And hey, this golden rule isn't just a one-time thing for translation. Look at this. It's the exact same story for functional prose. You know, writing letters, tweets, that kind of thing. Out of 14 marks, a full 8 are for language and style. Only 6 are for the actual content. It really proves the point, how you write is way more important than what you write. Okay, so this right here, this is basically the examiner's checklist. Think of it as your roadmap to getting a top grade. They're looking for relevance, structure, all that good stuff. But I want you to zoom in on W5, appropriate register and tone for the audience. Honestly, this is the secret key. If you can nail this one, you're on your way to unlocking those top marks. All right, so we've got the golden rule down. Now let's actually put it to work. We're going to start with the art of translation and really focus on how to move away from that stiff, word-for-word English style to something that has a beautiful, natural Urdu flow. I've got a super simple but crazy powerful 3-step formula for you. Ready? Step 1, spot the most important words and find their best Urdu counterparts. Step 2, translate in chunks. Don't go word by word, think in phrases. It keeps the meaning from getting lost. And finally, step 3. And this is where the magic happens. Refine and naturalize. You have to reread and polish it until it sounds like it was written in Urdu from the very beginning. This right here, this is the #1 trap students fall into, literal translation. Just look at the poor example. It sounds so awkward, right? That's because it's just following the English sentence structure. Now compare that to the good one. See how the pieces of the sentence have been totally rearranged to fit how Urdu naturally works? A lot of the time, the end of the English sentence actually becomes the beginning of the Urdu one. Getting that flip right, that's the whole game. Okay, let's switch gears. We're going to take these same ideas and apply them to functional prose. And remember that W5 objective we talked about, writing for the right audience? Well, this is where it really comes into play. But before we get into examples, let's nail down one super important word, register. In Urdu, it's usloob. All it means is changing your style, your words, your tone, to fit the situation. I mean, you wouldn't talk to a government minister the same way you talk to your little brother, right? That's register. Let's see what this actually looks like. On one side, you've got this super formal letter to a minister. You're using these very respectful words like muhtaram muqaram. Then, on the other side, it's a letter to a brother, and the whole vibe is different. It's warm, it's affectionate, using phrases like pyare bhai. See how everything changes? The words, the feeling, all of it? That is register. And getting it right is how you get the big marks. So, here are a few pro tips to keep in your back pocket for functional prose. First off, you have to address all 3 prompts in the question. Don't skip any. And for each of those prompts, try to give at least 2 solid points.
Next, structure your answer with paragraphs. An intro, a paragraph for each prompt. Keep it organized. And last but not least, watch your tone. Especially for something like a tweet, you want to be persuasive and calm, not aggressive.
Okay, so we've gone through some great techniques for translation and for functional writing. But all of this, every single strategy rests on one single thing. You could call it your ultimate secret weapon. It's the foundation that makes all the other stuff work.
And that weapon is your vocabulary, or zakhira e alfaz. Now, I know that might sound a little basic, but trust me, having a rich vocabulary is absolutely non-negotiable. Think of it like this. Your vocabulary is your toolbox. Without the right tools, you can't build anything. It's what lets you pick the perfect word, nail the right register, and write with real style.
And look, it's not just me saying this. This is what examiners and top teachers all agree on. As the quote says, excellent marks come from constant practice. Working on your vocabulary every single day, that's the habit that separates good from great. It's not just a nice idea, it's the actual path to acing this exam.
So, as we finish up here, I want you to really think about this. Of everything we've talked about today, the golden rule, that 3-step translation formula, nailing the register, which one thing are you going to take and use to make your very next answer better? Think about it.